Hello, this is a very quick look at the Enjoytone W80 Senior smartphone. This has a dual-core processor and it's a 4.5-inch screen. It's got quite a wide bezel around the edge. On the top you have a headphone jack. Around the side you've got the screen and power button as well as the volume up and down. On the bottom you've got a charging point, standing charging point, and on the other side you've got a camera shutter button. An interesting feature of this phone is that there's also a button on the back, and so as well as the camera and flash you get an SOS button, and this is very difficult to press accidentally. You have to deliberately press it. If you open the back up, it has a removable battery, and you can see just below the SOS are 2 SIM card slots and a memory card slot. This has quite an interesting interface. It's a very basic interface with very cartoony pictures for icons, and when you press them you get audio feedback, although it's very heavily accented.
Camera, back, gallery, back, contacts, back, messaging, back, family name, back, calculator.
A nice pre-built-in app is the zoom feature, which creates a magnifying glass effect using the phone and the camera, allowing you to zoom in on objects that you're looking at. It's a very simple feature, but it works really well. I can see for the target audience that being a nice little extra. In terms of the SOS button settings, you've got up to 12 contacts that you can assign to this, and you can also manually switch this off. So if the SOS feature isn't going to be used, you can turn that off to ensure it doesn't get triggered in error.
Camera.
There's a 5 megapixel camera on the back, and as you can see it's not particularly laggy. It does a decent job. Photos are okay, colours are quite bright, and it's decent enough for what you need. It takes decent enough photos. Autofocus isn't always great, but actually the pictures that come out aren't too bad at all. It does come with a flash, and it can do video as well. Now, video during the day is generally very good. However, in lower light, such as in the evening, the video quality does drop quite a bit, and the camera does struggle. You can see it drops. The frame rate seems to be a little bit jerky now. It's much darker and there's not as much light to play with. One area of concern that did pop up was this message that came up in a complete foreign language. I assume it's to do with the firmware update or some sort of bug reporting. I've no idea. I just pressed one of the keys to make it go away. This is disappointing because it'd be nice if this phone was completely in English. Also disappointing is that for a phone of this price it actually failed to even start this game. Now this is a game that I use on a few different mobiles, and even the lowest cost mobile that I've tested recently is able to play this. I'm just going to fast forward so you can see what happens. It just crashes out to the main menu, so let's try that again, and as you try and load up the game again, what you'll see in a second is it bomb out back to the main menu, so you can't even get to the menu screen on it. It's a pretty poor showing for a phone of this price band. So a bit of a mixed bag overall with this phone. Yes, it is a basic phone. It's priced slightly higher than the Honor Holly, which is a similar style phone but seems to run everything a lot better than this. That doesn't have the SOS key, which you might find a huge benefit, but that's really the only differentiator above something like the Holly or the Moto phones that are quite low priced, or even a Lumia phone. These are all very well known brands, slightly cheaper, and offer a similar very easy to use experience. The camera on this is okay, it works quite well, but I would be worried about the foreign language messages coming up if you were giving this to a senior person to use. I hope you found this short review useful. Thanks for watching.